Alrighty. So, firstly, let me apologize to, well, all 140 something of you that actually subscribe to the channel for not getting videos out on a more regular basis. Uh, I've been struggling with my creativity and my inspiration. There were some other issues that cropped in that has slowed me down. You know, life gets in the way. Sometimes I need to attend to other responsibilities than photography. But I have gotten out, and I do have plenty of footage in the handful of photographs. I've been struggling really with imposter syndrome and whatnot. But anyway, rather than release 3 short videos of my failures, I've put everything that I photographed in January into one video. So you'll be able to see the roller coaster that I've sent myself on over the last few weeks, with some failures and some small victories. So in this footage that you're about to see, it's all first person. I've got a GoPro mounted on my chest, which is actually the GoPro that I'm filming with right now. I've had the GoPro for years. I've always used it on my motorcycle. It never occurred to me to use it for my YouTube channel. I was also experimenting with using my Canon 7D to record video, but the tripod that I had it mounted on was absolute trash. It was a $20 piece of garbage that I picked up at Walmart just as a stopgap, because I broke my old trusty Polaroid tripod. But anyway, it was too windy to even bother with it. So you see, I end up putting that away and just using the GoPro. And I'm not sure I like the first person view of having the chest camera. Perhaps I might integrate little pieces here and there, but it's certainly not going to be the primary recording tool that I use. Alrighty, welcome to the first video of 2024. I apologize for not getting anything out in the last couple of weeks, but from Christmas on, I was sick as a dog, laid up in bed, just plain old miserable. But anyway, we're back at it. For Christmas, I got some new gear. My wife bought me a couple of new lens babies and this heated jacket, pair of heated gloves, which is all going to come in handy today because it is a whopping 17 degrees Fahrenheit outside this car right now, and I'm honestly not looking forward to getting out of it because it's warm in here. But today we are revisiting locations that I have photographed previously. This particular location where we're at right now, I photographed earlier this summer under bluebird skies. I did a long exposure photograph. I like the photograph, but there's just no interest in the sky whatsoever. It's just this big swath of blue. But anyway, that's this photo right here. But last night we had a big old winter storm blow through. We didn't get as much snow up here in northern Michigan as some locations did, but boy howdy, has it been windy and has it been blowing the drifts, and visibility is just about zero. Now, you're looking out the windows, it's not so bad right now because I'm kind of in this little protected spot. But anyway, we'll go back and photograph these rocks on the water again under these different conditions and see if we can make a better photograph today than we did last July. Woo! She angry. She's angry. Oh, I like this. All right. I'm not sure what possessed me to think that first person video was going to be the way to go with this. I'm going to spare you the 20 minutes that I spent photographing these rocks in first-person video. But I did want to leave this here just so you could hear the wind coming off of that water. It was pretty brutal. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty brutal, and honestly, it was affecting my process. Absolutely affecting my process. So this is not a location that I've shot before. It's just something that I spotted from the side of the road, so I turned around and came back to it. It is so super windy right out there on the coastline. I'm not going to do much recording. I've got the GoPro on, so that's going to be about it. I'm just going to go get the picture. Yep, 17 whole degrees. Oh. Ice on those steps, mind your way up. Oh, there we go. Waterproof boots are only waterproof to the top of the boot. Let's get the shot. Quick, quick, quick. Oh, we're good and soaked now. That's gonna suck in a little bit. All right. Quick, quick. Alright, now I got a second. Well, fuck it. We're already wet. Mercifully, that dip in the water brought about the end of the photographic day, which is just as well because everything I took down here on the water was absolute trash. I don't even want to show you the final picture here. Well, maybe just for a second. So that was January 13th, and that day sucked. That little dip in the water did bring about an end of the photographic day. I was going to press on, but by the time I got back up to the car, my pant leg was frozen, and the last thing you want to be when it's 17 degrees ambient temperature and -5 or 6 wind chill factor is outdoors and wet. So but anyway, got back out a couple days later, started to enjoy a little more success, but I still struggled with compositions. You know, perhaps it was the locations I was choosing, perhaps there's something else going on in my head, I'm not sure. But anyway, you'll see that here in just a moment. So I've been hanging out in the car for about the last 20 minutes, waiting for the visibility to improve. And this is, I think this is about what we're gonna get. Not seeing much. On the drive over here, there were little peaks of light. That's long gone. After something a little more minimalist anyway, that looks pretty minimal to me. But what I reconnoitered on the satellite map is right there. Looks a lot different in the summertime, but we're gonna go wander out there and see if we can't find ourselves a minimalist composition. Well, I tell you, I'm struggling to find compositions today. I was hoping I'd have a little better luck. I've gotten a few, but today hasn't exactly been a winner so far. I mean, just look how gloomy that is. We're going to keep at it. And I'm gonna wander out, maybe grab some wave photos, and hope for a little peak of light. But like I said, you look and see how gloomy that is. I really don't think I'm gonna see any. Although over this way, there's a touch. Maybe I should grab that while we have it, huh? And as luck would have it, no sooner than I got the camera set up, that light was pretty much gone. So I jumped in the car to go warm up. I'm actually pretty warm. I'm dressed for the weather. It is a whole 9 degrees outside today. The only part of me that was really cold are my hands. These heated gloves that my wife got me for Christmas are great, but they are not keeping up with the cold. And I'm still using them because I don't have to take them off of my hands to be able to use the controls of the camera because of the fingertips they've got on them. But my hands are freezing. So I jumped in the car to warm up, and I'm pondering what's going on. I'm struggling with compositions. I'm not finding anything. I don't know if it's the location or if it's me, if I'm lacking inspiration, but I need a win. And I know where I can get a win, but it's going to take me an hour to drive there from where I'm at. So I'll see you in an hour. Well, it's not snowing in Petoskey, which is actually kind of a bummer because the snow was actually kind of enjoyable. But look at that sky behind me. It's a little better, isn't it? All the way around. These guys are just a little bit more interesting than what we've encountered over in Charlevoix. There we go. Would you look at that? All frozen. It's almost cheating. The wind in this segment was absolutely atrocious, so I'm just going to voice it over. I'm zoomed into about 80 millimeters here to not include those 2 wooden uprights. They just felt really distracting to me, so it's a much tighter shot. And I'm just hanging out, waiting for some interest in the sky over my composition. I mean, there's potential here, but it never really pans out. I did bring my 50 millimeter lens baby today, so I may wander back to the car and grab that after getting this shot in the can. See, there's just, when you look on the phone here, there is a lot of interest in the sky, but I'm not picking it up in the camera, and I'm worried that I won't be able to pull that detail out later in Photoshop. And boy, look at that. Wouldn't that be great over there? Well, the wind is picking up, so it should move that way in short time. It's actually, I think it's going that way though. I don't know if we're gonna get that on that side of the bay though. But we're gonna hang here for maybe 10-15 more minutes and see if it finds its way over there. So no lens baby picture of that particular break wall. That break wall is actually private property, and just as I was finishing up my shot, a member of the constabulary came down and ran me off, which really sucks because just as I got back to the car, the sunlight came out, like honest to goodness, came out of a hole in the clouds and bathed the entire area in this beautiful, beautiful golden warm light, which just would have made the shot, would have absolutely made the perfect shot. I hung out in the car and waited a couple of minutes, hoping that the police officer would have driven away, but he didn't. He sat there and waited for me to drive off, and the light only lasted about 3 minutes, and it just sucked to have missed it because it was so perfect. But anyway, I'm set up now at the Petoskey break wall, hoping it happens again. We've got about 30 minutes before sunset. Maybe we'll get lucky. But anyway, we're going to hang out and wait for it.
we're going to hang out right here in the car where it's warm and wait for it. Because I've photographed this spot so many times, I know where to drop the tripod for the shot. Yeah, that light never panned out, but here's the Bayview Association brake wall. I really like this black and white. My wife favors the color, though. Let me know what you think in the comments. Well, that was January 17th. Considerable bit better than the 13th. End of the day on a high note, so I can't complain too loudly. The 18th, the next day, I went right back out again. I don't know if I enjoyed more photographic success, but my mood was greatly improved, which certainly benefits my process. So I think everything is moving in the right direction, and I've managed to pull myself out of my doldrums. Well, kind of shooting myself in the foot already today. All of the behind the scenes footage today is going to be handheld with my iPhone because I left the floor plate to this tripod on my other camera. Shit. So today I am at a location I have not photographed before, and I gotta tell you, I have been struggling with my photography since my trip to Odin Island. I've been out 3 times, and I really don't feel like I've captured anything truly compelling. There's a couple that I think are okay, and my usual list of cheerleaders, my wife and children, and they've been enjoying what I've been putting out, but I'm just personally not feeling it, and I know the last couple of times I've gotten out, it has been super, super cold. Today, right now, it's 19 degrees, and it feels like a heat wave. And I know that the cold weather, the extreme cold weather, has affected my mindset, and it's played a part in harming my process, if you will. So today, I've decided to hamper myself. I've left the big camera bag at home. I'm carrying my little one. The only lenses I have with me today are a 35-70, a 50 millimeter lens baby, and an 8 millimeter fisheye lens. And I know you're probably thinking, well, if you're struggling with your compositions and you're struggling with your photography, why would you hamper yourself or handicap yourself so badly? This is my job. Being a full-time photographer is my job. I may not be making a tremendous amount of cash from it, but being a working artist is my full-time job, and I need to be able to get over this hurdle. I have to put my focus on my composition. So this, whether I come out with a great photograph or not, this is forcing me to work my process. This is forcing me to work my process, and it's forcing me to slow down and think a little bit. The warmer temperatures is probably going to make that a little easier. I don't even have gloves on at the moment. I'm going to put them on, but I don't have my heated jacket, don't have my heated gloves, which is fine because the heated jacket and the heated gloves were not keeping up with the bitter temperatures. But anyway, this nature preserve that I'm at, I picked it just based off of the map. I know there's a water feature in there, and we've had a shit ton of snow. We had a shit ton of snow today, and it's all sticking to the trees. And I wanted to get out and get in this and get some work done because the forecast next week has 3 days of rain, and it's going to make all of this pretty winter wonderland go away. And actually, it's going to make just getting out of the driveway an absolute nightmare. Everything's going to be iced over and awful. So today is pretty much my last day to be able to get anything done and try to get over this funk that I'm in. But anyway, we're traveling light. We've got limited options as far as lens choices goes. And the Lens Baby went in the bag because my wife gave me this gorgeous Lens Baby for Christmas, and I haven't used it yet. I don't know if I'm going to use it today, but we're going to see if we can pull something out. And that fisheye, boy, that's a hard lens to use for landscape because it captures so much of the scene. Plus, it's fisheye, so that really forces you to think about composition. And the fact that we're not doing landscape photography, we're in a woodland. Woodland photography, to me, it's like pornography or the perfect turd. You can't really describe it, but you know it when you see it. So, and that is probably the pinnacle of composition design. If you can go into a chaotic wood setting and pull out a compelling composition, you can pull a compelling composition from anywhere. So that's what I'm doing today. That's how I am going to pull myself out of this creative rut that I'm in. And if I'm not successful today, by George, we're going to keep at it and until I get there. And I think part of it, it's been the bitter cold has really hampered my process. The other part is that I keep tripping myself up and forgetting about my process. I keep thinking about this result that I'm after. I'm trying to be result driven, but the result comes from the process. You've heard me say that time and time again. The result comes from the process. So focus on the process. But I've babbled on quite enough, so let's go take some pictures. Walking along here, got these 3 trees right here. I don't want to get too much closer to them because I don't want to add footprints in there. I might have to get a little bit closer, but I kind of like the interplay between the trunks there from this angle. So we're going to work this scene for a few minutes and see what's what. So we got set up for a shot that I think I like it. I don't know if it's earth-shattering, but I was able to work my process, think it through, and think about why I was drawn to this. So let's have a look on the camera. So there's a scene out in front of us. We're shooting these trees right here, and we've opted for a vertical format. This is what we're looking at down here. I've got it underexposed a touch, actually. Let's go ahead and raise that up a little bit so you can see it a little better. I like it overexposed. It really brings in the areas in the back, and we are starting to see some clipping here in the snow highlights. But snow likes to trick our cameras because it wants to be gray. So there's that to consider. But anyway, I don't know if it's earth-shattering, but I like it, and I thought about my process, and I have not rushed through this. I've been fiddling with this for probably a good 10-15 minutes before I arrived at this composition. Camera settings, for those that are curious, we are at f16, 1/8 of a second, and 100 ISO. Of course, it wouldn't be a proper Lens Baby shot if we didn't screw with the perspective. Just a touch. What do we have here? It's pretty to look at. Gets a little abstract in the camera, doesn't it? I mean, I don't mind the abstract. I think we're going to work it. Yeah, I think we might work this. We are starting to run out of light, though, I noticed. So after farting around with the spot for about 5 minutes, I ended up with the camera pointed at the top of that tree. with our perspective yanked upward. Like that. I really don't like this branch here, but I guess I can clone that out as long as you don't tell anybody what I did. Compelling? No. Do I like it? Yes. Good enough for me. Just look at where I am. This is so absolutely beautiful to look at. I mean, I am just, I'm among giants here. Snow-covered giants. It's so absolutely gorgeous to see and be in. But boy, howdy, is it difficult to photograph. I'm not going to make any secrets here. I am still struggling with my compositions, but even if I don't get a damn thing today, or if what I got turns out to be trash, I was still here. I mean, look at this. We haven't had snow like this in a long time. I remember winters when I was a kid, this was pretty routine. But the bitter, bitter cold that we've had and the sheer volume of snow that has come down, it's all still in the trees. Typically, after we get a big, heavy snow like this, the wind and rising temperatures and a little bit of sunshine clears out the trees. But it's still sticking to the trees. And this is just Arctic. This is the only word I can think of. I fucking hate it because I hate winter. I'm a biker. I prefer the summer to the winter. But this is undeniably beautiful. And part of the reason why I've come to enjoy landscape photography so much, because like I said, even if I don't get a great photograph, I'm here in this. All right, got time for one last shot. Here's what I'm set up on, is this path. What I'm photographing are those 3 treetops right there in this path. So what I'm gonna do is, because it doesn't really show up in the camera very well, I'm gonna run up and down this trail here a couple times and really trudge it up and create a leading line into it. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of is this branch right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go shake that tree and knock the snow off of those branches so it isn't quite so obvious in the shot. I'm gonna go ahead and take the picture as it is right now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make those adjustments that I saw, or that I said I was gonna make. Well, I wore that little bit of snow. So I think that's probably going to be a good spot to bring this video to a close. Christ, it's damn near half an hour long, or probably going to be longer by the time I'm done with this. Every piece to camera that I shot for this video in the office was shot with a GoPro, with the exception of this one. This I've shot with my iPhone. If you could leave me a comment and let me know which you think looks better. I'm experimenting, trying to step up the game with how I'm making these videos. But anyway, I'd appreciate your feedback. We'll talk to you soon.